I think most of us can agree that Martinsville as the second to last race was a really good idea by NASCAR. That race has provided some exciting finishes and even controversial moments. But if you had to ask me, what is probably the most controversial second to last race of the season in the last 20 years, I would have to say it was the 2012 race at Phoenix. So for the most part, this race was fairly clean. Yes, there were some wrecks here and there, and the biggest story was the fact that Jimmie Johnson actually got some damage after an accident by himself. Near the end of the race, it was really clear that Kevin Harvick was looking to get the victory. However, some crazy stuff happened around the 5th and 6th position. See, Clint Bowyer and Jeff Gordon made contact with each other going out of the exit of turn number 2. Now, this wasn't the first time these two got into each other in the 2012 season. There was a race at Martinsville and the first spring race where Clint Bowyer tried to get underneath Jeff Gordon. However, he took him out as well as Jimmie Johnson. However, it felt like this was the nail in the coffin because Jeff Gordon had enough of Clint Bowyer's shenanigans. Just 2 laps to go, Jeff Gordon would actually wait around the racetrack going way slower than everyone else looking for that number 15 car and took him out in turns 3 and 4. This destroyed Clint Bowyer's car and ruined his chances to compete for a championship at Homestead in the 2012 season. What would ensue would be probably the craziest 15 minutes in NASCAR history. The crews would get at it with each other, trying to get after Jeff Gordon. Luckily for Jeff Gordon, his crew chief was able to pull him away while the rest of his pit crew was scuffling with the number 15 team. Then Clint Bowyer got out of his car on pit road and did this amazing run.
Every day I'm hustling.
Luckily for Jeff Gordon, Clint Bowyer was not able to get to him. Otherwise, I'm pretty sure Clint Bowyer would have beat the living crap out of him. Jeff Gordon would be fined $100,000 and docked 25 points. He was also placed on probation until December 31st, but honestly, it wasn't really that big of a punishment for Jeff Gordon. The biggest loser out of all that was definitely Clint Bowyer. Now, I could end the video right here and people would be satisfied with, yeah, that was a very controversial moment. However, Phoenix Raceway was not done with controversy that day. See, on the green-white checkered attempt, Danica Patrick would actually get loose in turns 3 and 4 and would spin out, causing damage to her car. However, NASCAR decided to not throw the caution. Danica Patrick would get moving from the accident. However, there was a lot of oil on the racetrack and you could clearly tell that there was oil being dropped because there was a lot of smoke coming out of that number 10 machine. What would happen would be an absolute wreck fest going to the start-finish line. Kevin Harvick would be able to go across the start-finish line collecting the victory. However, everyone behind him seemed to spun out and wreck due to the oil on the racetrack. Multiple cars would get destroyed for no reason. Danica Patrick got rear-ended from behind and it wasn't
Ricky Stenhouse Jr.
Hell, even Brad Keselowski, who was the leader for the championship, was super pissed after the end of this race. Now, I'm not saying that we should have Phoenix as the second to last race. I'm not saying that at all. I love Martinsville being the second to last race. But you gotta admit, it was definitely one of the most controversial second to last races in NASCAR history.